exciting semi-final round of the Massey United Insurance Clash of the Titans Road Tennis Tournament at Coverley last night. Both Antonio Lilman Daniel and Mark Venom Griffith defeated their opponents to book their spots in the men's final.
Curtis Jones closest to the screen against Anton Daniel, and Daniel in attack mode from the opening serve. Jones reminding Daniel that he's a worthy adversary. Injection null and void. Then opening up his body beautifully. But you know Daniel, he's usually the one sharing all the licks, and Jones outfoxed. Sometimes no matter how hard you try, things never pan out in your favor, and Daniel taking the first game 21-14. Well, how do you come back from that? Jones showed just how. Nice forearm. But the script remained the same. Somebody please take a picture. Don't discredit Jones. He pushed Daniel in the second game, but Daniel was superior, taking it 21-19. The third, Jones gave up all hope. Daniel running riot. Daniel, aka Lil Man, destroying Jones. 21-14, 21-19, 21-10. Goodness me. Last semi-final encounter, Julian Michael Jackson White in yellow playing the defending champ Mark Venom Griffith. And this one not as spectacular as the previous. Griffith answering with the backhand drag, and he eventually took the first game 21-16. The second, a brief shower interrupted proceedings, but that didn't slow the progress of Venom. He moved to within one game of victory, taking the second 21-12. The third, Griffith put the stamp of approval on the victory, winning the game and the set 21-16, 21-12, 21-16.
Well, tomorrow we'll have highlights of the juniors semi-final. Australia batsman Philip Hughes succumbed to his head injury today, throwing the international cricket fraternity into mourning. Playing in a Sheffield Shield match at the SCG, the opening batsman was struck by a bouncer 2 days ago from pacer and friend Sean Abbott, a week before his 26th birthday. Hughes was carried off on a stretcher and taken to hospital, where a coma was induced following surgery, but he died today.
Hughes passed away despite having emergency surgery on Tuesday after being knocked unconscious by a short pitch delivery while batting for South Australia against his former team, New South Wales. He'd been placed in a medically induced coma after the operation but never recovered. His family and friends were by his bedside, and a statement from them was read out by an emotional Australian cricket captain, Michael Clarke.
We're devastated by the loss of our much-loved son and brother Philip. It's been a very difficult few days. We appreciate all the support we have received from family, friends, players, Cricket Australia and the general public. Cricket was Philip's life, and we as a family shared that love of the game with him. We would like to thank all the medical and nursing staff at St Vincent's Hospital and Cricket New South Wales medical staff for their great efforts with Philip. We love you.
Social media has been swamped by messages of condolence to Hughes. But there's also been a lot of sympathy directed towards 22-year-old Sean Abbott, the bowler whose short pitch delivery proved to be fatal. He was Hughes' friend and former teammate. No one's blaming him, and Australia's team doctor says Abbott is being helped to come to terms with the tragedy.
Sean has been, came to the hospital yesterday. He's been receiving a lot of support from Cricket New South Wales and his teammates. When he came to the hospital yesterday, Michael Clarke came down and spent a significant amount of time with him. And then Philip's sister Megan also came and deliberately spent significant time with Sean. Obviously what Sean's gone through is an incredibly traumatic experience, as it has been for everyone who was present on the field on that day. And Sean is receiving all possible support from Cricket New South Wales and Cricket Australia.
Well, the West Indies Cricket Board, the West Indies Players Association, along with many former and present West Indies players, have been offering their condolences all day. Meanwhile, over in Sharjah, the second day's play of the third test between Pakistan and New Zealand was suspended after the news of Hughes' death spread an hour and a half before the start of play. An extra day has been added to the test, which will resume tomorrow. West Terrace will have to wait a bit longer to find out who they will oppose in the final of the Guardian Group Herman Griffith Primary School's cricket competition. That's because today's semi-final between Milton Lynch and Charles F. Broome was abandoned without a ball being bowled. CBC's Marsha Boyce was at Dover.
Overnight and early morning rain had originally delayed the start of play, with the umpires particularly concerned about the bowlers' run-up to the northern end of the ground. There was a slight drizzle around 10:30, but after another inspection, the umpires determined that play would have started at 11:15, with the match being reduced to 20 overs a side. Charles F. Broome won the toss and sent Milton Lynch into bat. But just as the players were getting ready, rain returned around 11:05, this time much heavier and more sustained, eventually ending any possibility of play. It left areas of the field waterlogged and deemed unsafe for play. The game will be played tomorrow at the same venue from 10 in the morning. Marsha Boyce, CBC Sports.
Well, thanks, Marsha. As she mentioned, the rescheduled game is tomorrow, again at Dover. St. Leonard's boys under-19 cricket title is back on the line despite only having secured it earlier this year. That's because the new tournament has been moved from its usual start date. And Rollins Howard, BCA Cricket Operations Manager, says it's one of the developments coming out of meetings to address concerns over school cricket. These meetings involve the BCA, the Barbados Association of Schools, and the Association of Schools Cricket Coaches. The under-13 competition will still fall within the 2014-2015 school year. 19 schools compete across 4 zones in the under-19 tournament. And Roxanne Fort, Senior Cricket Operations Officer, says there's a new feature to the tournament.
This year is the first year that we have introduced circles. We had discussed it sometime previously, but we've now gone the route of, we've done some training with the Umpires Association. They train in with the umpires and with the schools. And so I think we're all now very au fait as to how the circles are to be used and how they're to be put in as it relates to your ground staff, etc. It gives the boys the opportunity to play with these circles so that when they're selected and go on to the regional level, they already have an idea as to, you know, what is to happen.
Well, the under-19 competition bowls off tomorrow with the final schedule for December 18th. Barbados missed out on 2 possible medals today, but are in a position to get another after day 12 of the CAC Games in Mexico. Levi Cadogan didn't compete in the men's 200-meter final, while Darian King and Hayden Lewis lost the bronze medal match in the men's tennis doubles to Roberto Maitin and David Soto of Venezuela 7-6, 2-6, 10-7. However, Gregmar Swift is into the final of the men's 110-meter hurdles. He was first in the second semi-final in 13.62 seconds, and that is the fastest time going into tomorrow's final. And in squash, Andre Padmore lost in the men's singles quarterfinals to Rodolfo Ramirez of Guatemala 10-21, 7-21. Barbados jockeys were outclassed by the British as they lost the Winter's Jockey Challenge race day. The Bajans went down 122.5 to 65.5 last evening at the Garrison Savannah. However, in the Mango Bay Hotel condition race, British jockey Tom Quealy on board Chatterbox had his hands full with Afri Ward on board Watery Moon. Initially, it was a dead heat, but a steward's inquiry gave it to Quealy, who was the race day's top jockey with 29.5 points.
Flag is raised. And they're off and running. La Boheme is the slowest to leave the gates along with the red, all red of the Y2K racing Fundy line. But towards the lead on the inside, it is Iguazu who comes through and picks it up. Chatterbox is nicely positioned on the inside. In between horses are now falling away towards the outside. I can see in third position that one is the Watery Moon. Falling away a little bit is Trinidad Dreamer. Royal Spirit is being asked to get into a close position. Against the rail comes something happening. So the turn and come down the straight for the first time. More towards just off the rail. It is Iguazu who brings him down the straight. On the outside is Chatterbox. They've done the quarter in 26 and 3. and they're halfway up the home stretch. On the inside against the rail, it is now Eagles who leads. On the outside, Chatterbox races in second position, third. That one is Watery Moon. Against the rail comes Royal Spirit, being shoved along by Frankie Deterry. Labohem races on the outside, Stepping Razor, which Alon Samuel sits in the sixth position. On the inside comes Y2K Racing's Pundy Line, followed by Trinidad Dreamer, You Can't Meet Me. The back pair are Atomic Bomb and Northern Sheriff. Maybe they'll battle for that position at the end of the race. The half has come out in 50-4, and they go down the back stretch. And it continues to be Eagle Zoo who leads on the inside. On the outside, Chatterbox continues to travel nicely. Royal Spirit is taking closer on the inside, also going remorselessly well. On the outside in that third position, that one is Watery Moon. Something happening is being waited with on the inside. Labohem being pushed along. And the one being asked for effort is Stepping Razor. On the ahead of Stepping Razor, that one is Pundy Line being asked for effort. Trinidad Dreamer could discard that. Discard the others at this stage. 6 furlongs in 120 flat. And they're over the top of the hill. And it remains Eagles. On the inside remains Chatterbox who picks it up comfortably. Position on the outside. Watery Moon is coming to challenge. Eagles who's falling away. Royal Spirit is simply running on the spot. Here comes Pundy Line with a run from down the race, a 2-horse race. And on the outside, Watery Moon comes and looks in the face of Chatterbox. Tom Quealy versus Afri Warrior. Turn for him on the inside. It is all Chatterbox. On the outside, Watery Moon is trying desperately. Lies between these two. Pundy Line is running on the spot in third position. On the outside, Stepping Razor is beating horse. But on the outside, it looks to be Royals. It is on the Watery Moon on the inside. Chatterbox and Watery Moon. Watery Moon on the outside goes on and might have too close to call between Watery Moon and Chatterbox. I think Chatterbox might have held on the inside.
Action-packed stuff at the Garrison. Good times indeed. That's it for sports. Up next, the business report.
Everybody smile, 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 smile.